But first, prostitution is an issue that deeply divides communities on moral and personal grounds. It's been legal in the ACT since 1992. There are 11 brothels here and hundreds of private sex workers. In the wake of a series of controversial incidents over the past few years, an ACT Assembly committee is reviewing the effectiveness of territory laws for the first time. It's brought the vexed issue of prostitution itself back onto the agenda, with some 50 public submissions already landing on the inquiry's desk. They're advocating wildly diverging responses to the perceived problems in regulating the sex industry. It's a complex issue and a conversation that needs to take place. But it is an adult conversation, so you may wish to divert the attention of younger viewers.
I'm getting sexual satisfaction. I'm getting paid. They're very generous and very caring of me and my feelings.
You can't be used by multiple men day in and day out and think that you are actually empowered.
It's called the oldest profession. I think it's better to be called the oldest oppression.
I'm the first one to put my hand up and say I'm not exploited. I chose this profession. It's the best job I've ever had.
They could be your mother, your sister, your brother, your uncle, your aunt, your grandmother even. There's no stereotype for a sex worker.
After 2 decades of legal prostitution in the ACT, the laws governing the industry are being thoroughly evaluated for the first time by an Assembly committee led by Liberal MLA Vicky Dunn.
We've got a piece of legislation that's now approaching 20 years old, and we've had these standout failures, and it's time to look at it.
These failures include the tragic death of 17-year-old Janine Cameron in a Fishwick brothel 2 years ago, and several other high-profile incidents over the past few years.
A 42-year-old woman accused of operating a brothel out of a house in Kaleen has been...
Canberra woman who allegedly brought sex workers to Australia to
Any
work
fire in a brothel is bound to raise police suspicions.
It might be legal, but it's not something that's often talked about openly, and many people have no personal experience of the industry. So who are Canberra's sex workers? Rebecca is a private sex worker who works from home.
About 10 years ago, I started thinking about sex as being not for monogamous pair-bonded romantics, because I'm not one. And I started to experiment and just have lots and lots of sex with lots of people. And I was really loving it and learning a lot about myself and about others. But eventually I started to feel a bit used by that. At the same time, I was having financial problems, not insurmountable ones, but the idea of getting paid for something I love to do was attractive. And I thought that if I tried it, it would be just a little social experiment. If I didn't like it, I could put it in my memoirs. And that didn't happen. I loved it. If somebody values me enough to pay me well for something that I enjoy and I'm good at, then I feel that that's a value in itself. Also, the money gave me a sense of power about making choices. I felt very empowered. Sex is fun. Pleasure is good for you. And I get to have orgasms on the job, which is not many jobs can boast. I enjoy the people I meet. They're very genuine. They have needs for sex. And I believe that people's need for sex is a genuine need that is as important as food. We need it for our emotional health, our physical health. So I advertise in the paper, people call me, I make appointment times and they come.
I've worked as a visiting sex worker in Canberra. My experiences have been resoundingly good. I found it